it's Tuesday! Of course it's Tuesday! And if there's one thing I know, it's that if you don't do things right away, they don't get done. It's a thing. Apparently a very mom thing, so I apologize that this is a day late. I actually almost recorded it twice Sunday, but everyone kept waking up from naps, and it was a whole ordeal, so that it didn't happen. But for once, I was actually on top of things. It's like, I want to talk about this, I want to talk about that, I want to talk about this. And the truth is, what we need to talk about is how to go with the flow, because no lie, if you can master that skill, you can master anything in life. People think that going with the flow simply means letting things happen, and that's not true at all. Going with the flow means that when life throws you a curveball, which is all the time, that you don't panic and freak out because you're dynamic and prepared and ready for anything. That's going with the flow. Going with the flow doesn't mean letting people walk all over you. It doesn't mean letting people take advantage of you. That's not going with the flow. Going with the flow, it still means taking care of yourself and your family and your people. It doesn't mean taking crap from anyone. It's a big misconception. Going with the flow will always happen when you least expect it. That's life. Literally, that's life. The only constant thing in life is change, and that's it. That's it. The only guaranteed thing in life are death and taxes. So, going with the flow. We just had that huge new moon, and the challenge, I think, in figuring out what going with the flow means in your life is, what has changed recently? What has been released? What have you been making space for? Are you really following up with the things that you said you were going to follow up with? Because I feel like I've been making fantastic strides in things towards career stuff, towards personal stuff, and then all of a sudden, like, life gets turned upside down, and you're like, oh my gosh, what is happening? And like, you kind of just want to toss everything in the air and be like, screw this, I'm done. But you can't do that, especially when you have tiny people. You shouldn't do that. Well, there are times there are times, but my point being, that's not the go-to. We don't just say, screw this, I'm going home. We say, all right, how do we deal? How do we get the lesson out of this? How do we get the best out of this for ourselves? And then keep moving forward. The things that people perceive as being roadblocks typically aren't roadblocks. They're caution signs for something else. So, for instance, Audrey hasn't been sleeping well, which makes her a complete and total bear in the morning to deal with. Sob fest, meltdown, the typical 2-year-old thing. So it's not that it's atypical, it's just that it doesn't typically happen to her unless she's tired or hungry. So I had to revamp my morning schedule and process and routine to factor in for that, because I can't make her go to sleep any faster. I wish I could. So we're trying something new and something different. I didn't just say, screw this, I'm just gonna drag her by the hair to daycare. No, we have a new, more gentle process of waking up. It's multi-steps. So, it's funny, and everyone's like, you spoil your kids. I'm like, dude, it's not spoiling to wake her up gently multiple times. It's really a kindness to me. It's selfish. It's terribly selfish, because I don't just want to drag her out and be like, all right, wake up, eat something, let's go. Because she's just going to be a giant flaming wench. I love my daughter, but she's me. So, I'll walk the dogs. I'll come in. I'll be like, Audrey, it's time to wake up. She'll roll over. I'll be like, all right, you have 5 minutes. I'm going to come back in 5 minutes after I feed the dogs. I'm going to wake you up. Come back in. And sometimes that's it. Sometimes that's it. She's like, all right, come on. Get dressed, get up, change, breakfast. And other times she's like, meow. And I'm like, all right, you know what? You're going to get 2 more minutes. I don't feel like messing with you this morning. And I'll go and I'll walk the dogs. I'll check on Dean, And so we just have a little more of a process. Don't you wish people would use that for us as adults? Like, I really wish we had that process. So what are you implementing if things are changing in that factor? Then it may not be a permanent change. It may just be a temporary change. I've taken on new duties at work that I really don't want. They know that I don't want the duties. We're working on hiring a hiring manager, but until the point where we have one, somebody has to do it, and that somebody happens to be me. So I'm doing the best that I can with the tools that I have, but I'm not the best at it. So I'm managing that. I wouldn't even say dealing with that. I'm managing that, because that it makes me very frustrated to not be successful in every position that I'm at. But I am perfectly aware that I don't have the skill set to really be awesome at this job, and that's fine. I don't want that job. But having several jobs has certainly held me back from full on chasing the one that I want. So what has detoured you? Is there anything holding you back that you're holding on to? Because sometimes we do that to keep ourselves from being successful, because success can be scary and intimidating. That's life. So what are you dealing with? How are you dealing with it? Are you successfully dealing with it? And what does your week have in store for you? Because man, it's Tuesday already and I'm done. So be strong, guys. I love you very much. I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.